Welcome to the Financial Planning Model. My name is Sheila Elliott and I am your course teacher for today. In this model, I'm going to be teaching you everything you need to know to put together your basic profit and loss statements, cash flow, and balance sheet. And I am pretty sure, regardless of where you're coming from, you're going to learn a lot about financial planning in a very simple and fun way. In this course, you will find a workbook. That workbook must be read in advance of watching this video. Some of you might prefer to watch the video before reading the workbook, but I personally will recommend you first read the workbook and then watch this video. It will make a lot of difference in the way you learn the materials going forward. So without any further ado, let me now take you through what you are about to learn. So what are you going to learn in this course? This course is designed with 4 primary objectives. The first objective is to enable you to learn what is financial planning and to ensure you understand the benefits of financial planning. In addition, you're going to learn step by step how to put together a financial plan for your organization. In other words, if you are looking for funding and you're doing one of our courses in business plan for funding, this model will enable you to put together a basic cash flow statement, a projected cash flow statement, and a projected profits and loss statement. Now, let me qualify this straight away. Some of you may have a phobia about finance because you probably do not see yourself as someone who is numerate. Hang on. You do not need to be an expert to do this course. You simply need to understand the steps for putting together a financial plan. And even if you don't feel confident at the end of the course, which I believe you will definitely feel confident by the end of the course, you can still be in a much better position to speak to an accountant about your financial plan than you were before you did the course. So the course is going to enable you to be confident with financial figures and to ensure that you acquaint yourself with some of the language of finance, which, by the way, if you are trying to obtain finance from the capital markets, you ought to know what some of the financial lingos are. And in our course, we have put together a lot of materials to enable you to understand financial terminologies. So this is what you are going to get from this course. So let's start the course. Okay, so we are about to learn the definition of financial plan. You obviously need to know what it is all about, but I'm not the kind of lecturer who will start giving you answers before you think about it yourself. So I want you to think about, what do you think financial plan is all about? Write something on a piece of paper and then continue listening to what I have to tell you. Pause the video now and put something on paper. I really hope you are going to do so. Okay, I expect you did what I asked you to do. If you didn't, well, you cheated. What is financial plan? Financial plan is concerned with the determination of resources that are required for you to meet your business plan goals. So it is the quantification of resources required for you to meet your business plan goals. So how do we go about this? Why is it so important? Well, regardless of how great your business plan looks, when it comes down to it, investors in your business, or dare I say lenders, or anyone who invests their time in your business, want to make sure your business is going to be financially viable. After all, financial reports is the only asset test that we are going to use to determine whether your management team is competent in managing the resources that have been allocated to it. So, what financial planning does is enable you as an organization to think about the financial resources that you are going to be needing to be able to progress with your financial plan. So, in your financial plan, you would have stated what the strategies are, what the vision is, what the mission statement is, but all of this is really very flowery. What we really want to know is what happens to the balance sheet, what happens to the income and expenditure account, what happens to the profit and loss account, depending on which sector you're coming from. That is why it is so important you understand the definition of financial plan right from the beginning. So let's get into the meat of the subject. I've got a little story to tell you. In my time training, consulting, and coaching, I have seen many business plans, and it never ceases to amaze me when people run after an accountant asking them to put together a business plan. And what does the accountant give them? A cash flow projection and a profit and loss account. Well, I've got news for you. If you take the cash flow statement and the profit and loss account and balance sheet to a lender, it's all well and good. But by itself, they are not going to accept it. Why? Because the financial plan must always be preceded by a business plan. You see, the financial figures are a picture of what the business plan states. So you cannot take a financial plan document to a lender without the literature, as I like to say, behind it. The financial plan is just like the forward face of the organization. But what lies behind it, what's going to drive that figure, is what lenders or investors are interested in. So, a word of caution: never write a financial plan first without thinking about a business plan. A business plan must always be produced first, and then a financial plan is built upon the business plan. That is the sequence in which things should be done. Okay, I know if you are an accountant, you're probably not going to like what I just said, but I am saying this because I want those of you who are not accountants to be mindful of this, because I have seen quite a few startup business owners who will come with a business plan, and I have a look at it and then I thought, what is this? Where's the business plan? This is all I have. Well, it cannot be accepted. So you always have to remember that you must have a business plan, and then a financial plan is the documentation that gives the monetary picture of your business plan. Right. So let's go to the next segment of the course. Yes, I have already mentioned some of the objectives of financial planning before, but we are going to look into it a little bit more, right? So, what are the objectives? Why bother with financial plan? Well, it enables an organization to analyze the resources that it requires to be able to meet its business objectives. If you do not plan to succeed, you are planning to fail. You probably would have heard that mentioned to you several times around. In the process of doing financial planning, you cannot help but to think through all the resources that you require in order to succeed in your business.